Well, now you'll be the main camera. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, this is Tara Taglianti, and I'm here with Donnielle Carter, and welcome to Energy Transformation Week 2016. And this is a short interview series that I put together with a bunch of really cool people that are in my world. And they're all into energy transformation. They're either healers or facilitators, and I mean, just amazing powerhouses and change agents on the planet. And I'm just excited to bring them on and learn their transformation stories and learn how they got into what they're doing and what inspires them to keep on doing what they do. And well, Donnielle, I know you do a lot. I'm going to kind of turn this over to you and I know, author, yes, and access consciousness facilitator, and then, okay, who are you? What do you do?
You know, it's so funny, Tara. I get asked that out. You know, I'm out in the world traveling and stuff, and I meet people a lot, and they're like, what do you do? Tell me what you do. And I'm like, a lot. I'm like, I never know exactly how to just answer that. Gosh, so I co-authored the Right Body for You book. I have another couple books for Right Body for You coming out, and Right Body for You is a part of Access Consciousness. So yes, I'm an Access Consciousness facilitator, and I'm the worldwide body class coordinator of Access Consciousness, and oh gosh, I do radio shows, and it's so funny what I do compared to who I used to pretend to be, or who I used to pretend not to be, you know, because we're talking about the transformation. And I used to be painfully shy. I mean, like, you know, in the movies when people try to get up in front of a crowd and they have like flop sweats, that was me, which was kind of funny because I was a promotion manager for a TV station, so it was my job to stand in front of crowds. And I couldn't do it. And I literally, my voice would quiver, and now I get to travel the world facilitating people. And you know, so basically one of the biggest things that I do is I get to work with people about having fun in their lives, seeing what is fun for them, and changing their bodies, changing their life, changing their finances. And, you know, so really when people ask me, what do you do? I'm like, I help people change their lives. And that's
awesome.
Pretty much the response. Yeah.
It's awesome. So well, here's the thing. Here's one thing that you said is that you help people change their bodies. Okay. Yeah. Now, I've been to the Right Body for You class. I've taken it. And let me tell you, the things that have gotten created since then, I'm just like, oh, you are like a little, like when I talk to my body now, because now I'm talking to it, my body is like a little Miss Priss and really likes the finer things in life. And it's caused me to really got me to really step up lately. But, you know, I mean, we're talking massages, mani-pedis, I mean, things that I used to not. I mean, I used to be like, those are like girly girl things, and I'm not really a girly girl. But my body's kind of just like, have you seen me lately? So like, and really, like, yes, things are changing, and it's like I know that, I mean, we just came out of like the holidays. You know, people out there on the planet right now are going nuts trying to change what they did to themselves over the holidays and stuff like that. Yes. Like, okay, so you help people change their body. I really would like to talk a little bit about that and like about how and what you do there. And then let's go more personal with you and your transformation story, because I know we can go everywhere here, but I started to get off topic. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, you know, and I can talk, and that's why I started with that. I used to be shy. Because without fail, when I say people, oh no, I used to be really shy, they go, oh crap. Like, you're lying to me, right? And I'm like, no, I used to not be able to talk, and now I don't shut up. Yeah, you know, and it's really interesting, especially this time of the year. I'm actually really excited that we're talking during this time, because you're right. People right now are freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, what did I do to myself over the holidays? Let me fix this. And and your body, you know, let me say straight out, your body is this amazing awareness organism that's constantly giving you information. And so, you know, part of what I do is getting you to that communication with your body and that awareness that it's giving you information for other people. And so, you know, how like Christmas tends to be very intense, and right now things are, people can be, maybe who aren't obsessive, can be obsessive about, I have to fix my body, I have to change this, I have to do this, blah, 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 goals, targets. That's because your body's picking up a lot of what's going on for other people. And with so many people in the world right now, at Christmas time focused on the holidays and now focused on changing this, your awareness of it ramps up. So it's something that you know, throughout the rest of the year, you may go, hey, you know what? It's yeah, let's buddy, do you want to like go to this class and do this or whatever, work out? Okay, sure. That may be the normal conversation, but right now it has this intensity of, oh my gosh, I have to do this right now, because everybody's kind of doing that right now. and so with your body,
you gotta go to the gym.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm a bad person if I don't. It's because you're picking up on everybody's thoughts with that. So it's like, what if, you know, 98% of your thoughts, feelings, emotions aren't even yours? That includes the awarenesses from your body. So when we're talking about helping people change their bodies, that's one of the biggest things, is to acknowledge that your body's communicating with you, giving you this information. And so oftentimes, even though those physical sensations that's going on in your body might not belong to you. You know, on Christmas Eve, it was really interesting. I went to dinner with most of my family. And so there's about 30 of us. And one of my sisters on the way home was like, oh my gosh, that Chinese food had MSG, so now I feel sick. And I went, huh, maybe that's why I'm feeling sick. Okay, so body truth, who does this feeling of sickness belong to? And it did answer to being my sister's, and it went away. And, you know, and it's something as simple as that. And that's, as you know, that's part of Right Body for You workshops, is to get you to that awareness, so you don't keep it, those insanities.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and like in my class, I noticed that, you know, during lunch one time, it was just kind of like I went and had like a brownie sundae, and it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, and since then I've had dinners that were like molten lava cake, like I'm really into that molten chocolate stuff. And I noticed that a lot of, after the Right Body for You class, it was like okay to indulge, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because when you're asking your body what it would like to eat, what it would like to drink or wear, or the massages or whatever it wants to do, the mani-pedis, when you do it when your body is asking for it, it's great. You know, like I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and while I was talking to him, I made coffee twice. And she's like, you having a little bit of coffee today? I'm like, oh, this is probably like, if each one of these cups is 2, this is my 3rd. So it's about 6 today. And she's like, don't you get jittery? Isn't that a problem? I'm like, when my body's asking for it, it's not a problem. When my body's not asking for it and I drink 6 cups of coffee, then it's a problem. I said, well, like, in the day before I didn't have any coffee. And, you know, and that's the thing about working with your body, is the molten lava for dinner is okay if your body's asking for it, you know, because your body, for whatever, has no point of view.
Yeah, and for everybody that's watching or watching this video in the future, it's like, imagine being so in tune with your own body, and being so in tune with your body that it's like you're like a team, and it's like you're walking around with your best friend, and you get to, I mean, it just starts to open up so many things. But like I said, imagine being so in tune with your own body that you're aware of all the things that it likes, all the things that it might not enjoy,
Oh,
and
yeah. Body usually makes
and
that one quite obvious.
and it's like and it's I'm just and it's kind of like I didn't think that that the communication and the and I didn't think it was possible. I never even thought that that was something that was able to. I would have never thought of it. I
Yeah.
would have been like, I need to go to the gym tan laundry. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that I thought that was life, you know, and now it's just like so different.
Yeah.
And how does it get any better? And it also has something to do with like every aspect of your life starts to change when you get in tune with your body. And go ahead, I know you're going to add something.
Well, actually, I was going to add that. It's like once I started being friends with my body and including the awareness from it, every aspect of my life changed. It's not just about the physicalness. My money changed. My relationships changed. My freaking career changed. It's a number of things shift, and my body became more of a snob too. Well, I don't know if I should say more of a snob, because I think it always was. But yeah, it's like, no, it wants the nicer sheets, and it wants the better seats on the plane. And yeah, massages are nice, but the massages at that salon, even better. The day spas, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. I can't believe I'm like laughing like with a knowing that, oh yeah, I know. It's just cool.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, listen, we're going to provide links and more information about how you can get in touch with Donnielle and to see where she's going to be next in the world, because this woman travels the planet and facilitates her classes everywhere. I'm just like, gosh, when am I going to get to catch up with you somewhere? Okay, well, like, so tell me about like, why transformation and you know what I mean? Like, what led you down this path, and what led you to have that inspiration and desire to be able to facilitate other people having everything that they desire?
You know, it's so funny given my past. I mean, excuse me, I was in TV. My job was marketing and promotions. My job was to tell people how to judge themselves, what they needed to buy, how the only way they're cool is if they do buy this. The only way they're acceptable is if they're this type of, you know, body shape or person, or and I was really good at my job. And, you know, and honestly, that's one of the reasons I left, because even though I didn't have a lot of cognitive thoughts to what I was doing, I at the end of the day, I would sit there and go, I don't think I made the world a better place today. I actually think I made it worse. And I'm really good at it, you know?
Oh my God. I don't want to like interrupt too much, but I had a similar, my first job out of college art school was photo retouching models in the fashion industry. And we had clients that would come in that would talk about how they were on runway in Milan and New York and Paris. And I mean, we would go after work. It was like the workplace was on South Beach, Miami, right? So I was working down there thinking I was so posh. And afterwards we'd go have cocktails with people. And I was like, it just kept hitting me. I like, as I would be sitting here, like shaving, you know, I know exactly what to do to take inches and to just kind of create the hourglass shape. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, these chicks look like aliens when I'm done with them. You know, like they don't look like after a while I started to be like, my eyes would actually I'd look at live people in front of me and start to be like, oh, I would know what to do, take that blemish out and put those over here. And I mean, it was that skillful, right? So I remember being like, I'm not helping anything here. I did create myself out of that job. And, here we are, right?
Well, and what's funny about that, Tara, is it's not just that you affected other people, you also affected yourself. And
Yeah.
so, it's like, were you looking at you with that same eye? When you look in the mirror, you would look at the same eye going, if I just shaved this, did this, maybe, whatever, right? Because I would do that too. I would look at those commercials and go, I'm not that cool.
Oh.
Maybe it's obtainable for you, but not for me. So it's like, it's not just that we affected other people, we screwed ourselves up too.
That is true. It's true.
And your point of view creates your reality. I know this is kind of off topic, but it was so interesting. When I was in TV, I got very large, body wise. I'm only 5'2", and I was like a size 20. Or at least, and what was interesting is I always had the point of view that I was really heavy. I always had the point of view that I was morbidly obese. And it was so funny because over the holidays, literally like past 2 days, I was making these DVDs for 2 of my nieces. It was Brittany and Erica, the early years, now they're both on their second child. So, it was those home videos. So I was looking at it, and so I saw a picture of myself at 16 come on the screen, and I was wearing like a little half shirt and everything. And I remember that outfit, and I remember that day, and I remember all day long thinking, I can't believe I'm wearing this shirt. I'm just sticking out all over the place. I'm horrible, whatever, right? But I look at this now. I was a thin rail. I mean, I was like uber thin, but I had the point of view I was a big girl because I was a size 5, and my sisters, my older sisters, and my mother were both double zeros because I have 6 inches on them. I'm 6 inches taller than the rest of the girls in my family, right? So I was actually tiny, but I had the point of view that I was large, and I created that.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many points of view do we have about our bodies that A, is not true, but B, is creating our bodies?
Wow. And we're just gonna let you sit with that, just like simmer, like if you need to rewind the video just now and like hear that one more time or 2 or 3 times, go for it, because what if your point of view does create your reality? And I can tell you, I'll look back on pictures of myself like from years ago and be like, I was so cute, but what was that mental? I mean, I would have put myself out there way more if I would have been thinking what I thought of myself in those moments, what I do now, of like, I was like, oh, dang, I'm cute. And I did not take advantage of that cuteness at that time,
Well, yeah, because that's what I'm saying, like with our jobs, it was our job to judge people, tell people how to judge them, and look what we created, self-judgment. Aren't we cute?
I know. Oh my goodness. Okay, like I feel like we might end up going over a little bit because I do want to get back to like your story. Like, how did you get into personal transformation, and like what was your how'd you get into it and stuff like that? Like, what's your story?
Promotion manager. What you're doing now, and it's so funny because like when I talk to my old friends in TV, they're like, "What do you do?" And I tell them, and they're like, "What?" It's like, it's so far left field from what you were doing before. I'm like, I know. So the short story of this is I had my mother was taking care of her parents, my grandparents, during the last few years of their life, and she was exhausting herself. Every time I talked to her, she was literally exhausted. My grandmother had broken backs. My grandfather had dementia and constantly wandered around, so she needed help. So I left TV to go help my grandparents. And then they died. Job done. They're gone. And
I'm sorry. This is just a personal side note. Everybody watching, but a personal side note. I know you get what I'm thinking or what I'm expressing right now is like you're just so like to the point. All right, viewers, I don't expect you to understand what's going on right now, but that's okay. Okay.
So I have a work point of view. I know this. So
I find it so hilarious. I love it. Okay, go ahead.
well, I mean, it's honest. My job was there to take care of them until they died, and okay, they did. So, and I love them dearly. I still do. I saw them on the videos the other day, and I'm like, oh. Anyway, different story. So, back to point. And I used to be really linear, you guys. I'd be like, this is what we're doing. This is the script we're following, and now it's all out the door. Anyways, so my mom, get this. So here I am. I hated that I had a body. I was hiding in my body. I got very large and everything. So the frosting on this cake is my mother was a nutritionist. She did health talk radio shows, weekly live broadcasts, interviewing all these amazing different people about all these different modalities and everything. And I'm like, the typical daughter just rebelling and whatnot. I helped her since I was 12 years old. I counted up the other day. I've been in radio for 30 years because of everything I've done with my mom, right? And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. And so this body awareness was a constant thing. Body appreciation, not so much, but body awareness, it was always there. Body judgment, plentiful. So, and all these different modalities would come through, and some of them were amazing. Don't get me wrong. I used to call them my mother's experts because each week was a new thing, and it was fantastic. It was amazing, and it was. It created a lot of ease, a lot of change for a lot of people. And almost without fail, though, they would look at me and go, oh, I can fix you. And then you can tell everybody how I fixed you. And and that would be fun.
Like you're the testimonial.
Yeah. Because they would see something in me, right? But I kind of got pissed off. I'm like, yeah, I'm not broken. Piss off. But I mean, literally, they would come up and go, I can fix you. I didn't know I was broken. Thank you very much. It's like I said, piss off. But, and they, they weren't doing it necessarily with unkindness. They were just doing it from the unawareness place. And so one Saturday morning, my mom had our dear friend, Dr. Dane here, who is the co-creator of Access, on the radio show. And, I had my bars run the day before, which is the first body process in Access, and I was very resistant to it. I mean, my mom sprung it on me. And you'll love this, because since we're going in the crazy anyways, we were actually on our way to drop off our 2 new kittens to get fixed. And she's like, oh, and by the way, on the way home, we're going to get our bars run. I'm like, what the freak do you have me involved with now? Bars run? What are you talking about? And I'm like, I dressed for taking a cat to a veterinary clinic. I'm not dressed for public. Anyway, and so we get these bars run. And Dane has this great story about he was planning on killing himself. And the first time he got his bars run, he laughed like a little school kid and never wanted to kill himself again. Right. I didn't have that experience. I sat there. I didn't. I was impatient. My mom had started a half hour before me, and I was told it took about an hour. I'm counting minutes going. Every minute she's on the table, I'm not even halfway done. Are you freaking kidding me? I think I was even like drumming my fingers like, ugh. And so just saying, if you get your bars run and you're not laughing, it's okay. Change is still happening. Trust me, it's the spectrum, whatever is going on for you. But I noticed a couple of things. When the first time I got my bars run, my mouth went dry like I do with a massage. So I'm like, my health training kicked in and went, well, something's flowing then. If my body's mouth is going dry, then I'm moving something, because, you know, like during a massage, that happens a lot for that reason. And I'm like, okay. And then my intuitive ability kicked up that day to a degree I couldn't deny. I couldn't say, oh, it's just a coincidence that I got those papers ready right as she shows up. It was like, you know, it happened a dozen times that day. And then Dane was on the radio show the next day. He phoned in from California. And it was so funny because for the first time, now mind you, I've been hearing these amazing things weekly and sitting there like a petulant child going, no, no, you know. And but for me, I really liked Access Consciousness because it was the first thing that basically said, here's a tool. It's up to you to use it. It's up to you to create whatever change works for you. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And they're also like, well, and what if you're not as screwed up as you think you are? And I'm like, oh, first thing that told me I'm not screwed up or broken. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I asked, well, it was so funny because the local people, I swear my body took over, because the local people were having a bars class the next day. And I'm like, I can't go to the class tomorrow, but can I give you my name and number? And then the next time you're doing a class, you can let me know. And inside my head, I think my body said that, because inside my head, I'm going, what are you doing? You spent your life not getting on a mailing list and you just gave them your name and number. What are you doing? And I knew it had something for me. My life was in limbo. My grandparents were dead. I didn't want to go back to TV. And it's like, I was searching for something. It wasn't even searching for something for my body. It was just life had to change. And then, miracle of miracles, 2 weeks later, Dane came to the small town I lived in Utah and taught the beginning courses of Access. It was one of my most brilliant creations, I say, because he wasn't even doing the classes then. But he was just like, I need to go to that town and teach those two, basically. And so it's a longer story, but it's fantastic. And in that class, he's talked about communicating with your body and asking your body for everything. And I went, all these years of listening to these people talk about bodies on this radio show, and never once did they say, ask the body what it wanted.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Did you know you could do that? Like,
right?
Before I came to Access, I had no idea I could do that. And
I never thought about it either.
Hello? Like, it's
I know.
so much easier. I mean, and I probably still have some ways to go with it, but it's like, you know, like,
yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, no, totally. And the same for me. Like I said, I had heard all these amazing people creating these great changes for people. But this was the first time that it had the inclusion of the body's awareness. Well, first that the body had an awareness, I'm like, huh. And, you know, and now I ask them, like, do animals have a consciousness? They're like, yeah. Do plants in the earth have a consciousness? Yes. It's like, well, your body's made up of very similar elements as the earth, you know? Like, why wouldn't it have a consciousness of its own too? And they're like, oh, yeah. Huh. You know? And so begins the, you know, my classes. But I know there's so many. But,
could you? I know we're at a half an hour, but is it okay if we go over a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I think I like this story, the story where you finally talk to your body. Like, will you do that?
All right, so
like, okay, fine. It's just so fun. I love it.
I think I know what you're talking about. So we did the classes, and I got the audios, right? So I'm re-listening to them. I'm sitting in my office, and, you know, I'm re-listening, and Dane's talking about on the recording, oh, well, you know, these people did these great things, and they, you know, communicated with their body, and they got in contact with their body. Basically, all you have to do is say hello and everything. And I'm like, all right, I can do this. So I'm like, what the hell? So I switch off the recording. So I sit there and it's all silent in my room, my office. And then like, so the formula is like, okay, drop your barriers and say hi to your body. So I'm like, drop my barriers. And I'm like, hi, body. And I said it out loud, right? And I'm like, I feel like an idiot. Honestly, I'm talking out loud, not to myself, but to my body. Are there hidden cameras? You know, I really felt like I felt like an idiot. It's like, you know, everybody has these stories of like, I said hello and the world changed. And I'm like, judgment, total self-judgment, right? And so I'm like, I use the access tools. I'm like, okay, Pod Pocket, Discern, Create, did the verbal processing. I'm like, let me try this again. What the hell? And so I did that. So I dropped my barriers and I said hi to my body. And then for the first time in my life, I actually started to get an awareness of my body. I knew I had a body. I was clothing it barely, brushed his teeth, hair once in a while, you know. But I really started having an awareness of its presence, like even the blood, the skin, the energy of it, by even the heat of it. And it was really interesting in how my whole world just seemed to expand. I mean, it was almost like I physically saw more when, you know, like peripheral, like enhanced or something when I started including my body's awareness. And so, and then I just kind of went, what just happened? You know, but it was a lot of fun, but it all started with just that first acknowledgement that I had a body, because so many people hardly acknowledge they have a body. So yeah, but it was fun. And then things begin to change. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had the same kind of experience when I first realized that you could talk to your body, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this, and I just made sure I was totally alone, and it was kind of like one of those things where it was like, hey, and then like 3 weeks went by, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just been a gradual thing, and now it's like, it's, you know, obviously I for myself, I'm not always like on top of it, but at the same time, if I start to spin out or get too cerebral about things, I'll remember to just be like, oh, hi, like, hi, and touch, you know, and just kind of be like, I remember, and then all of a sudden I'll get like goosebumps or chills, and then everything will start to,
cool, you
know, so.
And, you know, and it's so funny, and we do communicate with our bodies more than we give ourselves credit for. Because I was on a teleseries last night, a telesummit, and this one woman had a question, and she's like, I don't communicate with my body at all, and I have this pain, so tell me why I have this pain. And I'm like, all right, honey, first off, if you don't communicate with your body at all, how do you know you have a pain? And she's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. Communication with your body comes in many different ways, and so you do actually communicate with it more than we give ourselves credit for. And you know, and that's just the beginning. It's when I first started communicating with my body, I started communicating where everybody does. Body, what would you like to eat? Body, what would you like to wear? And honestly, with that, I dropped 10 sizes in 4 months, which is how I got involved with The Right Body for You.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, everybody, you might want to rewind and play back. Like, how many sizes in 2 months?
I like 10 sizes. I went from
10 sizes.
16, 18 to a size 6. Yeah.
Just saying, you know, like, this is, that's possible. That's what's possible. How does it get any better? Okay.
Yeah, and what else is possible? And it's so funny because the story doesn't stop there. And it's so funny because I actually gained a little bit of weight back, and people are like, oh, you failed. I'm like, no, I changed. People change all the time. What are you talking about? Because what was interesting is when I got down to a smaller size, it triggered other things that I didn't know had been dormant points of view. I started attracting men, which was apparently scary to me. And it also, apparently I had a issue receiving money And you wouldn't think that that would be a result of gaining weight, but for me it was. You're about to see my cat, sorry.
I love it. I love it. Bring her on.
Yeah, she's sitting at the peripheral going, I'm like, come on.
Totally, she's totally welcome.
Oh, now she's being shy. So, but yeah, so you wouldn't think that my inability to receive money or would result in a weight gain, but it did. And so, but it was interesting that just for the first time acknowledging my body, what it would like to eat, what it would like to wear, allowed those shifts and changes to occur. And it was so funny, you guys. Knowing all of these people through my mom, I had a very dear friend who was a master herbalist come and sit down one day because he was worried about me very sweetly because I lost weight so fast. He figured I was sick, that something was wrong. And I'm like, he's like, I'm afraid you've caught something. And being the smart ass, I went, I caught consciousness. You know, that was my response to it. He's still a good friend, which is nice. I didn't alienate him, but so besides a physical change, it's also my awareness of the world has changed. Yeah. You know, like I was feeling crazy the other night, literally, like I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I don't know. It's just, why even bother? It's just so much work. Fortunately, I have tools, and I'm like, wait a minute, who does that belong to? And I answered to someone else. I'm like, okay, not mine. And it immediately lifted, but my body was helping me know that my body was feeling like, you know, and just like humdrum and everything. And what was interesting, so I asked a few more questions. I'm like, all right, so do I know this person? And blah, blah, blah. And it got to be a friend of mine. So I Skyped a friend of mine. I'm like, how are you doing, dear? And she's like, oh, I'm really sad. And I don't know if I actually want to like be in the world anymore. I'm like, oh, you know, so, but it was interesting. And that's why, you know, at the beginning, we started talking about the holidays and all the intensity right now. And it's like, how often does that stuff not even belong to you? But your body is one of those tools that's giving you information. Yeah. And I feel like we're scaring people right now, but there's tools out there, I swear.
Listen, yeah, there are tools and resources. Well, I mean, this is Energy Transformation Week. Yeah. So I would say those people who do tune in are going to be the kind of people that are, you know, looking for this stuff or a little, you know, somewhere on, you know, on the weird side like me. So
and me.
And here's the thing is like, guys, there's resources out there. Yeah. There are tools, and imagine what's possible. Like the things that can get created from here when our body is giving us information and we're not labeling it with a symptom or something that would be, oh, I need to take do they even still make Tylenol anymore? I don't know. I don't know if that's taken up. I don't even know. I haven't taken like a medicine in a long time, but you know, some of the things that people will be like, oh, my shoulder hurts, I need to take this pill or whatever. Yeah. Well, what if that means something completely different? And I mean, this is just like a tip on the iceberg of that whole thing. Oh, and Donnielle, if let's give everybody like links and more resources of how they can get in touch with you, how they could start off maybe by reading the book, Right Body for You.
Highly recommend the book.
Something like that. Like, how can people get in touch with you? And cool. You're global. So
I am, and I have so much fun coming up this year. I'm going to some places I've always wanted to go to. I go to Dubai this year.
Wow. Whoa.
How fun is that? That's awesome. Turkey and Hungary and London and Rome. And anyway, so if you go to my website, donnielle.com, DONNIELLE, there's links to videos there because I have a bunch of videos on YouTube also of just, hey, let's talk about this today. And I also have over a year's worth of radio shows called Right Body for You. And it's tools each week, tips for this. I interview people. It's amazing. And you can find that out on my website also, donnielle.com. It's a fun show. I have a great time with it. And, you know, for somebody who used to be shy, and this is my second show. I used to co-host a show with my mom called Access the Magic. I did that for 4 years with her before she died. And so, yeah, so it's been, yeah, I've been in radio for 30 years and now I do video and TV. It's hilarious. For somebody who used to not be able to talk, a little bit of a change. But see, that's also, including my body, helped me not hide from the world. It helped me not to be shy. It helped me to make more money, to meet fabulous people like Tara all over the world and have, you know, and have a good time. And, you know, instead of like the world being a worse place at the end of the day, hopefully it's a better place and at least people are happier at the end of the day now. And I think that was truly my main inspiration for starting to do the classes was I'm like, I like these tools. Everyone must know about them. I guess I could do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Listen here. So I'm gonna add like all your links and stuff on the bottom of the YouTube video when it's done. But one more thing is this is a question that I always ask each person that I interview at the end. And here's the thing, okay? So let's take you back to like, I guess that 16-year-old age, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you, what would you say to that person being that you're, you know, with everything that you have evolved to and stuff like that, what would you, I'm going to cry. What would you say to her, to that girl? Like,
probably something practical like, yes, your sisters are a size and mothers are a size 00, but they're 4'9", you're 5'2". It's okay to be different, you know, and to not compare yourself. It's not about being identical. It's not about, well, they look like this, so I have to look like this, or to fit in with my family, I have to be this tiny little girl under 5 foot tall. It's not about the comparison. It's about just being comfortable in your own skin, whatever that is. So I would say that's like, don't compare yourself because you're unique. Your body is unique. Even identical twins aren't actually identical. So it's like, don't compare, don't judge. And if you could truly see yourself with no judgment or no point of view, you might actually see how amazing you are. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Oh my God, I love the gushiness. Okay, so on that note, all right, so let's like, okay guys, listen, tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be interviewing the lovely Christina Aston. She's an Access Consciousness facilitator as well. And we're going to get to talk a lot about her transformation story. And then that'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I just want to thank everyone for being here. Donnielle, thank you so much again for taking some time out of your busy schedule.
I'm happy I was able to do it, Tara. I adore you. I'm so grateful to play with you.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you for joining in. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.